Now coming to the different levels of management. In every organization there is a particular hierarchy that has to be followed. Okay? When I talk about hierarchy, the best example that you would understand here is that is present in your schools, right? You have the principal at the topmost level, right? Then you have others as vice principals, headmistresses, and the supervisors. Thereafter, you have the PGTs, that is the teachers who are teaching class 11th and 12th. Then we have the TGTs, and then we have the PRTs, right? So there's a certain hierarchy in an organization which is followed. Now, in an organization, when we say there are top level management, middle level management, and supervisory or operational level of management. At the top level of the management, we have the chief executive officer, the chief operating officer, okay, the managing director, all right, the chief finance officer. All these people, they are responsible for framing of policies of the organization, setting up the main goals and objectives to be achieved by the organization. Second level comes the middle level management. Now, after the top level management, they have framed the policies which are to be followed and the goals and objectives which are to be achieved. The same are conveyed to the middle level managers. Now, who all come in the middle level management? We know that the entire organization, it is divided into different departments. We have production department, we have sales department, we have finance department, marketing department, sales promotion department, right? And all these departments, they are headed by a person. We have the marketing manager, production manager, sales manager, human resource manager, right? So all these people, they come in middle level of management. What is their job? They are going to interpret the policies which have been framed by the top level management and are going to they are going to translate the goals and objectives set up by the top level management in terms of work which is to be done by the supervisory or the operational level of management. They are a very important link between the top level management and the supervisory level of management. Meaning they are going to convey what the top level management has decided, that is the goals and objectives and policies, to the supervisory level of management, and whatever grievances, जो भी problems supervisory level of management में workers को है, वो convey करेंगे top level management को. Then coming to supervisory level of management, यहाँ पे कौन आएगा? आपके सारे factory foremen, okay, all factory foremen. Now, what is their job? They are going to give instructions to the workmen. They are going to ensure that the work is being done in accordance with the organizational goals which have been laid by the top level of management. Then they are going to convey the grievances of the workers to the middle level of management. They are going to convey the grievances of the workers to the middle level of management, right? So these are the three levels of management: top, middle, and supervisory, right? Now, coming to nature of management. Under nature of management, we are going to talk about if management is a science, or is it an art, or is it a profession. Now, for us to be deciding upon that whether management is a science, art, or profession, we first need to understand what are the characteristics of science, what are the characteristics of art, and what are the characteristics of profession, and how far is management able to satisfy these characteristics. Let us first begin with management as science. What are the distinguishing features of science? Science is a systematized body of knowledge, right? Science is a systematized body of knowledge. It has its own theories and it has its own principles which are based on observation and repeated experimentation, right? Second, principles are based on experimentation. As I just said, all scientific principles are based on observation and repeated experimentation, and they are going to give the same result under the controlled conditions, right? Last, universal application. All the principles of science, right, all theories of science, they are universally applicable. They are applicable in all situations. I mean, they are applicable in all situations. right? Now, as far as management is concerned, does management have a systematized body of knowledge? Yes. Management also has its own set of theories which have been developed over a period of time. So it satisfies this characteristics, that is systematized body of knowledge. Then principles based on experimentation. Now you're going to study the management principles in the next chapter, but those management principles have also been formulated after observation and repeated experimentation, right? But there is a difference. In case of scientific principles, right, you are going to get the same result whenever you apply that principle. But because management deals with human behavior, it deals with human behavior which is highly volatile, so it is not necessary that application of a particular principle is going to give you the same kind of a result, right? Like if we talk about principle of division of work, right, it may give different results in two different situations. So management principles are also based on experimentation, but are not going to give the same result in all situations. So we can say management is a kind of an inexact science. Then we say universal application. Scientific principle, we said that they are universally applicable, but in case of management principles are also universally applicable. That is, they can be applied in all types of organizations. But as I said in second point also, the result of the application of the management principles is not going to be the same. It is contingent upon the situation in which it is going to be applied. So we can conclude that management